Previously on Chatting with the Pratchers.
You know what, babe? I would love to make that pie for you, but I'm not able to do it today. How about we plan to make that pie on Saturday, which will give me more time to do all the things that I need to do, because if I push and try to make that thing happen,
Yeah.
and then I get the pie made, but look, the pie may burn, but even if it doesn't, even if it's like perfectly made, and I neglect all the things that I needed to do, I'm going to resent you. I'm going to resent you. It's guaranteed.
So let's.
Okay, whew. Now that that's over, that was rough and embarrassing. But let's talk about that.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Resentment, right? That was the word I used. I'm going to resent you. Oh, that was terrible. That was not one of my finest moments, babe. But I'm so glad that you forgave me. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Y'all, so we want to talk a little bit about resentment. You see how easy I let that word flow from my lips when I was talking about how I would feel if I didn't get the things done because of him. Resentment is a strong word, and it has an even stronger meaning. Listen to this. I picked this up from Google. It says that resentment is a complex emotion that involves a buildup of negative feelings like anger, bitterness, and frustration. It can be a reaction to feeling wronged, unappreciated, or let down. Yeah, that kind of describes what I was trying to say. But resentment is such a deep-seated word.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes from something deep inside, and it lingers there.
Yes.
It's not like anger, where I can be angry at you for a minute and then okay, I'm over with, it's good. But resentment is something that can take root inside of you and build, and it even, the definition said bitterness. That is a deep word.
Yeah.
So
It lasts for a while.
yeah, it lasts, and it does things inside of you. It could tear down good things inside of you, tear down strong feelings that are healthy. And so resentment is not a word that we want to just fling about, y'all. That's not a word that we really want to use to describe a feeling that we're having towards someone else.
That's true. That's right.
And in thinking about that whole situation, how I was gonna resent you for the things that for me trying to make a pie that may or may not work out, and I didn't get the things done. I mean, what do you think about all this?
Well, if we look back at the scenario and how you stated that I'm going to resent you,
Yeah.
that resentment, I believe, came from a place of you not fulfilling the thing that you wanted to do.
Okay.
Right? So there was some unfinished things that you had initially that you wanted to get done.
Unfinished business, huh?
Yeah. So a lot of times when you and then you were going to work on my behalf and fulfill something that I wanted. And a lot of times what happens is, if you're fulfilling something for someone, be whatever that is, and you're not, and you have some unfinished things that you have not yet done, you end up resenting someone else's success.
Wow.
You end up resenting someone else's uptick, or they're going forward or getting some things accomplished in their lives, and you end up resenting somebody because they're moving forward and you still have unresolved things going on in your life.
Wow, that sounds like jealousy, babe.
Yeah, that sounds like jealousy, but it's also resentment. People are resenting you for something that they had not completed. So their uncompleted things in their life brought resentment to your success.
Wow, that's way, way deep, folks. I mean, can y'all ever think of a time, can you think of a time rather, where you may have felt resentment towards somebody for something that you didn't do for yourself or you didn't finish? I can think of times where I didn't say that I resented someone, but I felt it
Yeah.
because I was trying to take care of somebody else's needs. This one had a need and that one had a need. Just like that pie scenario that we talked about in the last episode. I mean, I did not say I resented them, but it was like they better do well too. And they better finish it. And they better not call me again.
Right.
Because if they do, I'm not coming.
Right.
I'm not showing up. I'm not going to answer my phone. Oh, it's them. Oh, nope. Busy. I'm not available.
Right.
Because I'm resenting them. Because the last time, oh yeah, that's a famous phrase. The last time.
Right.
The last time I helped out, this is what happened. And the last time, well, sometimes we have to throw our hat in again and help again.
Yeah.
Because every time we help someone else, every time we lend our strength to someone, or we give grace to someone, every time we do it, it manifests something good in their lives.
Right.
Even if we can't see it, it manifests something good in their lives and even our own.
Right.
I'm a firm believer that everything we do, it comes back around. And things that we do when our hearts are in the right place, it accomplishes the thing that we set it for to do. Oh, he looked like he got a problem with. Let's hear what you got to say about that, Pratcher.
Well, I mean, listening to what you were saying, it brought to mind, like, to me, just like an example of what you're saying from this standpoint. People say, never lend people money that you're not willing
to give,
that you're not willing to get back.
Yep.
Right. So be willing to lose that piece of money that you lend out, because it may be subject that you may not get it back.
Right.
So you have to be responsible to say no if you won't get it back.
Yes.
So that I don't resent you for lending you this money because you never did give it back to me.
Ooh.
I'm willing to lose this so that I don't set myself up for resentment.
Nugget. That's a nugget, y'all. And yes.
So if I don't have time to give you, if I don't have the time to give, then I keep it to myself. I snatch that back. If I don't have the emotional being able to be there emotionally for you, and you dump all this stuff on me, and I'm carrying all your stuff around with me, so then every time I talk to you, I feel like it's a burden because I feel like you're going to dump something on me. I end up resenting a conversation that we have.
Wow.
I end up resenting certain things that may be presented to me.
Yeah.
So I have to be responsible to say no.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but that hit me right and left. I'm telling you, that cut me up sideways.
No, this is good.
It's so true, though.
Yeah.
It's so true, and I love it. I relish that. And I take that in. I receive every word of it, because it's all about, we want to see ourselves where we are. But just like I said before, we don't just want to see the ugliness or see ourselves see our flaws. We want to see ourselves where we want to be.
Right.
We want to see
Yes.
ourselves where, we want to see
Yes.
ourselves in the place where we want to grow
Right.
to.
Yeah.
And hey, I want to get out of bitterness. I don't want to be bitter
Right.
and resentful
Right.
ever again.
Yeah.
I don't want to harbor feelings. So in order for me to do that, then I need to make sure to evaluate my time wisely.
Yes.
Evaluate and be careful of the of anything that I give. Make sure I'm willing to give it away.
Right.
And it's okay for me to say, hey, can I get back to you on that? Can I get back to you? Very often when people are in dire straits, dire straits rather, they may call and say, "Ooh, I need you right now," or "Ooh, can you come right now? Can you do this or that? I need it now." And we feel that urgency and we hop to it.
Yeah.
But even on our way, we can take a minute to think and say, okay, so let me get myself in check. Let me take care of the business. And even if it's an emergency situation, if they're over there with a finger cut off, somebody's got to call the ambulance.
Right.
So that, that could be you, say, hey, let me call, or have you call the ambulance. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm on my way over there. Well, while I'm on my way over there, I can take a moment to make some calls myself. If I have some commitments, if I have some things going on, I can say, okay, well, let me try to take care of these things, or delegate someone else to do it. If you have someone else to delegate, to say, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Make sure that the people that I'm on my way to see, make sure they know I'm not going to make it because so-and-so has, their finger is cut off. I need to go and help them. They don't, of course, they're not going to say
Lord.
that to your business partners or to your boss or whatever. Of course not. But I'm just saying, we have to take that moment.
Yeah.
And sometimes all you get is a moment.
Yeah.
But the whole point is not to be in a situation as to where you're setting yourself up for resentment, like you said earlier.
And y'all, let me say this because she brought it up. Someone else's emergency is not my emergency.
Oh, now that's kind of dangerous. You're gonna have to break that down. And
So-
remember, you talking to me.
So everything you can't, because somebody said, "Oh, I need this right now, right away." Even though they're saying that, what I have to remember or take into my mind and taking into my account as well. If I'm asking somebody, hey, I need such and such, I got to remember maybe they were doing something before I even called them. So my emergency is not their emergency. I can't put my emergency on them and make my emergency their emergency as well.
And then get mad because
they can't
hop to it.
Yes. It ain't their emergency. It's your emergency. I got to get this done. Well, okay. I hope you get it done. I hope you get it done.
Hope you get your finger sewn back on.
Yeah.
But no.
We're not talking about that. But, everything that's the reason why I think you said evaluation.
Yeah.
Because you have to evaluate the situation. Even if somebody did get their finger cut off, I may be in a position where I'm dealing with an emergency already.
Ooh. That's
and
right.
I can't stop and rush to yours because mine is not
Also
fulfilled.
critical. Yeah.
And thereby I'm going to resent you because I didn't get my thing finished. And I'm gonna be mad at you because I gotta come and help you. Some of our children put us in positions that I get mad at my child, my son, my daughter, because I got to stop and come and see about what you have done to get in some type of trouble.
Classic.
Classic. So it causes other things, and we have to understand that your emergency is not someone else's emergency.
Let me read something else that I found, and this is definitely related to resentment, but it talks about what resentment does in a relationship.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you talked about that parent-child relationship because I mean, you hit the nail on the head. If I get a call from one of my kids, I mean, it's like drop everything, and then when I find out it's something small, it's like, what?
Yeah.
You what?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about what resentment does in a relationship. Okay, this is what I pulled up off Google, y'all. It says that resentment in a relationship is a complex negative emotion, kind of like the previous definition, often characterized by anger, bitterness, and frustration, like before, that builds up over time.
Wow.
When someone feels they have been unfairly treated, wronged, or taken advantage of by their partner, leading to a sense of being unappreciated or let down, and potentially causing tension and distance within the relationship if left unaddressed. It can manifest as holding grudges, passive aggressive behavior, or emotional withdrawal. Now, this definition seems to really cater toward relationship like yours and mine, husband-wife relationship,
Gotcha.
one with your partner. But I would spread it abroad.
Gotcha.
I could say that because we have relationships with more than your spouse. Or so just like you were talking about with the children.
Kids,
yeah, we can do that with the kids. We can have some passive aggressive behaviors toward the kids. We can have some resentment. We can definitely feel let down and unappreciated. Faux show. We can have all of those feelings, y'all.
Yeah, I get all this stuff for you, and then you turn around and do something stupid like
what?
this.
And so we got to get that stuff under control because we have to continue to parent.
That's right.
We have to continue loving in our relationships, whether it be sister, your sibling relationships, your friend relationship, your friendships.
Yep. And mother, son, father relationships as well. Those things can get resented in the sense that, oh, you didn't tell me this. Another one, a missing father.
Okay.
You were not there for me, so I resent you.
Now that cut pretty deep because that's like a whole new ball game right there.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about how you can resent somebody because of what you didn't accomplish. I can see that. My dad wasn't there. So I didn't have a complete household. And because I didn't have a complete household like Johnny, I didn't make good grades in school because I didn't have the emotional support that I needed like Johnny. So I didn't do so great, and I fell into, lifestyle with the gangs because they gave me that father figure that I needed. And so I resent my dad because he wasn't there. Because had he been there, I wouldn't have gotten involved with the gangs. I wouldn't have gotten arrested, so on, so forth.
Right.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It can always be a pointing of the finger of something else.
That's true, but the father not being there, it's yes, there's reason for, I can understand the hurt. I can understand the pain.
Right.
However, you have a life of your own.
That's right.
That you have to attend to, that you have to grow, and we do not determine the cards that we receive. We all get a deck of cards. Back to the spade game.
Let it go.
Spades of life.
Let it go. Let it
we
go.
all.
That's good.
But
that's
you're
good.
right. But you're
Everybody didn't get a joker.
Yeah.
Everybody didn't get an ace.
Everybody didn't get the ace of spades. You're right.
Everybody didn't get it. But it still depends on what you do with your card.
Exactly. And who you partner with.
And you cannot blame someone else's failure or someone else's lack of for your success or your failures. That's gonna be still up on you.
No matter who it is.
No matter who it is, mama, daddy, sister, brother, Your success does not lie in the hands of those people.
Yes.
It can add to it. It can amplify it. But the lack of, you know, I don't want to put it off on like, you know, yeah, there are some things that we look at and say, okay, if this hadn't have been, this hadn't have, you know, I wouldn't have done this. I get it. I get those instances. Somebody who get raped,
Okay.
you know, if I hadn't have got raped, then I wouldn't have had this trauma in my mind. Yes, you are absolutely right. But I'm not going to allow that to hamper my child from being a success in life.
The fear.
Yes.
And the resentment of what someone. Yeah,
Right.
because we wanna pause for a minute and be sensitive to those who have endured
Yes,
those
those
type
things, yeah,
of
those traumas.
Exactly. So we don't minimize that
Not
pain.
at all, not at all.
Not at all. That's not what he's saying. But no matter what the pain is, no matter what you had to grapple with, we still have to live, and we
Yes.
still have to, when we're parents, we still have to raise in the face of all the things that are going on.
adversities, yeah.
And because you know some parents are not getting along, and they have to raise, they have to co-parent.
That's true.
You know,
That's
resentment.
Right. That's right. Yeah, mom and dad wasn't together, so you know I'm resenting dad for not being able to stay with mom.
Or mama moved on. She moved on and she started another family, and you got less visits. And you know, these things, they really do happen, and it's hard.
Yeah.
We are not painting that as a light experience either. It's hard. But resentment is hard.
It
because
is.
resentment can get down in you, in your
Yes.
spirit and in your soul, and destroy things inside of you where it can destroy every positive relationship that you have.
Right.
Whereas you do have hope, even with those parents or loved ones who you feel may have left you, there is still hope as long as you let hope
That's
live.
right.
But resentment, it cut that thing right off.
Right.
Cuts it off. Like our elders say at the knees, cut that hope right off. And it's like I'm keeping all of it to myself.
Right.
Everything in me, I'm keeping it to myself. Well, you're not just keeping your feelings to yourself. You're keeping, you're killing hope.
Right, and you're harboring bitterness, and you're harboring the bad feelings and the negative things that's in you, and those things tend to fester.
And they eat.
And they
away.
eat and they treat it like a cancer, but then it does come out as well. It comes out in relationships. And because you were holding on to bitterness or holding on to some things that you did not resolve, you have to resolve that within yourself. Okay, this happened to me, but how do I move from this point?
That's wonderful. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, babe, because it's important for us to not only be able to identify resentment and how it's caused, but how can we get rid of it? How can we get it out of our hearts once it has taken root, you know?
Right.
And
because it may come. It may come. And you may have to deal with that resentment.
and so we do as sure as you live, problems are going to come your way, and it's not going to be problems that you would select for yourself. It's going to be a challenge. That's why it's a problem. So when I feel, and y'all, I'm no authority, I'm just a human being, okay?
You're just chatting with the Pratchers
We just
right
chatting, you know. So when those feelings of resentment start to build up in me, the first thing I do is what I did at the beginning of this show. I have to ask for forgiveness. I have to say, God, help me. Help me to forgive myself. Help me to forgive the person. Help me to heal on the inside.
Yes.
It takes time too.
Yes.
It's not a quick, snappy thing. It does take time. And the way that I like to do it, if I'm upset at a person, if it's a situation where I can go to that person and speak to them, Because sometimes you have to let time pass. You got to
Yeah.
put a little time under it. But I like to be open. I like to say, hey, let's talk about what happened between us. And if things are, and of course, you have to take this advice with a grain of salt, because every situation is not one where you can actually go and talk to the other person, or should you talk to the other person, but you still don't
Absolutely.
want bitterness and resentment in your heart.
Absolutely.
So the first person, bottom line is, the first person that we have to deal with is ourselves.
That's absolutely correct.
If we get ourselves right, if we forgive ourselves, and not passively like, oh well, I did it.
Yeah.
Oh well. No, because we have to treat ourselves with care and with love. This is our soul we're talking about, our spirit we're talking about. We don't want to be passive about that thing. So I mean, earnestly, and if you don't see where you need to forgive yourself, that's another reason to ask, for some divine assistance.
Yeah.
Help me to see where I could have done things better. Help me to see if I did anything wrong.
Right.
And then after we ask for forgiveness, then we wait. But while we're waiting, we are we're doing positive things, and we're moving on with life. Sometimes it's a situation where we have to make a phone call or make a visit to somebody, and sometimes you have to stay away and wait for them to come to you. It just depends on the situation.
There's a old cliche that says, time heals wounds.
No, all wounds, babe.
I mean, I know it says all wounds. I just want to say wounds, because some wounds time don't heal for certain people.
That's the point.
Yeah, for certain people, time don't heal certain wounds.
That's my point.
They take you to the grave with them.
Yes.
Certain things that has happened in their life, they just couldn't seem to get up. And with those heavy trauma things that we kind of leaned into momentarily earlier, I would say definitely get somebody to talk to.
Absolutely.
Get somebody to talk to, somebody that you can express your feelings. And I mean, from a scholarly,
a therapeutic
approach. Get somebody to talk to, because you need that. You need that type of knowledge to help you.
I'm so glad you said that.
Definitely, I'm an advocate. We are advocates of the divine, and your pastors and your spiritual leaders, as well as someone who can, help you here therapeutically.
That's right, counselors,
Yeah,
therapists.
right. So never negate that fact, but definitely get that spiritual advice. Get your pastors involved, if that's a way that you can do it. But get somebody to talk to,
Right.
because at that point that you are resenting someone, you get bad feelings. Your stomach hurt when you see somebody, and things of just headaches, because you thinking about this person or a situation. You need help. You need help to deal with that.
Yeah.
So don't just feel like, oh, I can do this on my own. Get somebody that can walk you through it.
Wow. Whew. Wow, babe, that was a lot. That was very heavy. It started off cute, but it ended up heavy.
Yeah.
I liked it though. I mean, that was good. That was so good. Well, y'all, we're with you in spirit. While you work on that resentment. If you have resentment towards someone, if you heard us today and you say, yeah, that was me, and you just, if that's you, hey, it's okay. You can throw your hands up to that thing and say, you know what, I surrender myself. I surrender not to the person who wronged me. I feel who wronged me. It's not about them at all anymore. It's about you. I surrender to me. I surrender to my joy. I surrender to my happiness.
Right.
And when you need help, just like my husband said, when you need help, reach out to somebody. In the meantime, reach out to somebody.
And before we go there, if you have testimonials of overcoming resentment, please put it in the comment so that that thing may be able to help somebody else overcome, or they'll see the comment and say, hey, I'm going through that as well. So go ahead and put those things in the comment, those things. If you're not afraid, if you're not ashamed, go ahead and put those things, your testimonial, in the comments, some things that you had resentment that you were able to get over, so somebody else can
have victory.
Yeah. So
y'all put those comments in there, and please don't forget to like,
yes,
and also share,
yes,
and subscribe,
please.
Because if we're if we're helping you, or we're entertaining you, do that for us. Do as to others
As you would have them.
They know the rest. They know the rest. They know the rest. All right. So in the meantime,
and in between time,
y'all don't hold resentment.
Don't hold
And
it.
make sure that you tune in with the Pratchers so that we can put a smile on your face.
And we'll see you at the next chat.
Yeah.